This one is a breath of fresh air. I'm sorry, I got you.
Oh man, we're gonna face him in the first round, and this is gonna be a curse.
I had to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What is going on?
I gotta keep it rolling the whole show.
Franco's idea.
The whole show.
You know what? They might not be able to beat the Boston Celtics, but they got a catchy theme song, so I'll give them that. But what is going on, everybody? Welcome back.
Technically, they did a month ago.
To the Celtics Talk Weekly post-game show. I am your host, Robbie Haytayan. Joined with me are all my great co-hosts, Nick Franco, Seamus Zarlingo, and Justin Lowe. Guys, the Celtics, man, oh man, did they need this win tonight, and they delivered a great, successful, almost wire-to-wire win against the Orlando Magic, won at 21-94. Obviously, many highlights on this game, guys. The Celtics steering away from that three-point shot in that first quarter kind of highlighted it. A lot to talk about. Tatum had a dominant performance. We had Cooper Flagg and AJ in company and that Duke team in attendance. The Celtics showed out, guys. But before we kind of dive into everything that we got for us tonight, what's your initial thoughts, reactions, takeaways on this, again, much needed win?
No, all right. Well, no, I'll take it.
You've been gone for a week.
Go ahead, Franco.
I'll take it. I mean,
right.
I got 3 C's for the C's: consistency, control, and confidence. That was tonight's game. It was very in their control. They were playing their brand of basketball. They were taking full advantage of tonight's matchup. We were able to match up with Paulo for the first time since his injury, and we were able to just maintain an offensive standpoint that you could see every single player on the court was taking their shots. Derek White had a great performance tonight, and we also were able to see the team start off the first quarter 5 for 5 from three-pointer, hitting their shot from the free throw line, just major things. And they never really allowed the Orlando Magic to really put in a effort where we would think that the Celtics were going to lose the momentum. It was just a consistent uprise. And it was one of the things we haven't really seen this season is at the halftime, we see the score going up, which was a major factor throughout the NBA final run last year. You would see the Celtics have a 10 or 20 point lead and only grow it from half. And this was the first time we saw that this season, really, from the team. And it was a great win, but I'm still, I sound very pompous saying this, but I don't care about a win with this stretch that the Celtics have going on, even though it's great to have one. But we're really looking for wins going forward from the Celtics, and let's see if they can string this together.
Yeah, we need to see some consistent wins build up. We've seen a win and then a loss and then a win and then a loss. And guess what? We played tomorrow and we won tonight. So let's not continue the pattern that we've been going down the past month or so. But we are Celtics post-game live tonight, and we're talking about a game in which the Boston Celtics essentially dominated in. They had their hands all over this one from the start. Maybe not a wire-to-wire win for the Celtics, a few early leads for the Orlando Magic, but overall a really dominating game for the Celtics. And this is exactly the type of game I needed to see from the starting lineup. Yes, you did get some key bench contributions throughout the ball game. Sam Hauser was certainly spectacular tonight. Peyton Pritchard playmaking tonight, didn't really shoot the ball that much, but the bench looked solid. But the starting lineup looked really, really good. And remember, guys, I've been harping on these guys for the past month or so, really calling them out. They needed to show up, and they did tonight against Orlando Magic. This is a really tough Orlando Magic team. Yes, only 3 wins over 500, but they are a very, very, very sharp team that are certainly on the come up here in the Eastern Conference. This is also a team who was significantly shorthanded about a month ago when you faced them down south, and you had a 15-point lead. You lost it. Orlando punched you in the mouth in the second half, and they took the game. So really good response here from the Celtics tonight, especially from that Toronto loss. They need to come out and do this again tomorrow night.
Well, tonight's game from the Boston Celtics. First of all, shout out Derek White, who had more points in the first quarter tonight than he did the entire game in Toronto the other night. So shout out to Derek White and really the rest of the starters for that one. You could really tell that the Celtics, they were bringing out a much different vibe, a much different energy in this game tonight, because really the two things that stood out for me in this game, number one, the extra passes the Celtics were willing to make on the night. We did not see three chucking at all in this
No.
game, and it was very uncharacteristic to see the amount of threes that the Celtics took throughout the game as the game continued rolling on, because we were really looking at the sheet going, whoa, we're taking a lot more twos than threes in this game, and that's really not what's been the Celtics' philosophy for the entirety of the season. And then moving on to the defensive end of the floor, I think the rotations tonight were a lot crisper than they have been in recent stretches for the Boston Celtics, or recent games rather, in this recent stretch. Because tonight, I still don't believe the entirety of the intensity of what this team can bring defensively is there from what we saw last season. But at the same time, I thought the attention to rotations tonight and where guys were supposed to be positioned on the floor, that was really important for the Boston Celtics. And you could tell that there was a different energy within this ball club. And they definitely put an emphasis on a couple of things that they did not do well in Toronto that they wanted to come out tonight and do well. And there's no doubt that there was an internal matter with the team. Now, I'm not saying the team was, feuding or anything like that, but you could tell that, hey, guys were in the locker room. They were talking about everything bad that went down in Toronto, everything bad that went down against Sacramento. And you could tell these guys were definitely motivated to come out and shut some of those narratives down. Now, I will say during this next stretch here where the Celtics face Atlanta tomorrow night, which we know in these back-to-back situations, Friday, Saturday, oh, good Friday win. But if we come out and lose Saturday, it kind of negates that Friday win just a little bit. So the Celtics, with that Atlanta game on the horizon tomorrow night, on Saturday night, and of course the West Coast road trip coming up, there's a lot of chance for the Celtics to really staple this win as a potential turning point. Now, I'm not going that far and saying it is right now, because we are still 8-7 in our last 15 games.
Right.
We're still 10-8 in our last 18 games. So the Celtics are still going to have to do much, much more in order to prove to us that, hey, they're going to start to turn the corner here. They're going to start to play this brand of basketball every single night, because we're not seeing this brand of basketball every single night. But this was a good building block, a good stepping stone if you want to go there, if you're the Boston Celtics. And we really just need to see more of it. And I believe that as the season progresses, we will see more of it, because this last stretch was the most embarrassing stretch of Celtics basketball we've seen in 2 seasons, really, and really out of this iteration of the Boston Celtics with Porzingis and Holiday on the roster. And
Mm.
I really think that the adversity for the team could be good in the long run, knowing, hey, the NBA season, whether it's the playoffs, regular season, it's not always going to be easy. You're going to be punched in the mouth a lot more than the Celtics were punched last year. And I think in the long run, potentially this little stretch here could be important for the Celtics to actually hone in and put an emphasis on doing all the little things that really won them the championship in the first place, and to really get back to that for this season on their second championship run, their back-to-back championship run. So tonight, certainly the way you want to see the Boston Celtics play, and this is not just a win is a win. This was a dominating win by the Boston Celtics in every facet of the game. And really, this is how we want to see them play moving forward. Now, I wonder if we're going to see the change in the Celtics moving forward, because there is a lot of opportunity for it. And tonight was the first occasion in which they can rebound. They could have rebounded and proved themselves a little bit more than what we saw in Toronto. And really, this game, this team is kind of hard to talk about right now because of the 500 record over the past month. But anytime you see a win like this, we're kind of hoping, all right, okay, now let's go on a little streak here. Let's do this a little bit more moving forward. And I think tonight's game just had a much different vibe to it than the rest of the games we've seen as of late. And that's really the silver lining here for the Boston Celtics, with a lot of opportunity in front of themselves to prove that tonight's game was not just a fluke, not just one win in a 500 record, but really the first stepping stone, or part of the first stepping stone from where they can really go this season, where we thought they could go at the beginning of the season, which is winning back-to-back titles.
they were engaged, they were active, right? Like that is it was clear as day in the first 5 minutes of this game that they were probably going to hold on to it and win it. You could have just it was just you could tell. There was a question. I kind of questioned how they were going to come out of the half because again, against Oklahoma City, I hate to say it again, but right, we saw them have a great first half. That second half, it was a rapid decline, but you could tell their intentions were there tonight. And guys, Orlando, this is the second best defensive team in the NBA. And the Celtics got exactly what they wanted when they wanted it and how they wanted it. And there was nothing Orlando was able to do. This is the Celtics team we know. This is the Celtics team we love. This is the Celtics team, and this is the brand of basketball that this team has to play. And I want to mark those 3-point attempts, guys. 15 attempts in that first quarter. They really started to shoot more once they kind of first half, 15 in the first half. They started to shoot more. They took 22 in the second half, but that's okay, right? 37, 17 to 30. The quality of shots they were getting, guys, was there. They were making what did I say last postgame show? This team needs to make an intention. They were passing up some open threes in that first half to get into the paint. And you're sitting there and thinking like, beautiful. This is what you want to see. They're establishing interior presence. They're building from out. They're passing up some okay shots to get they're passing up some decent shots to get much better high quality shots. So it was a great starting point, I think, for the Celtics. It's a great game that they can go back and look at and learn from. Okay, what worked tonight when we played Orlando? How were we able to beat them? And again, it was probably my favorite win in the past 2 months, without a doubt. Guys, I just let's take a look at this lead tracker, please, because so this was perfection. This is the definition of a perfect, near perfect lead tracker. Obviously, that first couple minutes, it wasn't perfect, but this is almost exactly what you want to see. You cannot complain when you see this type of lead tracker, guys. That is called exponential growth, friends. It keeps getting bigger. The lead keeps growing, guys. Tonight, the Celtics, they led by as many as 27 points. Orlando's biggest lead of the night, guys, was 2. Celtics obviously was dominating this Orlando Magic team. It shows in the lead tracker.